Hey y'all. How's everybody doing? I hope I hope everybody's doing okay, doing well, hanging in. Still in these strange times that we're living in these days. I know I've been MIA for a few weeks. I've been working on some different kind of projects. I was completely inspired by Lynn over at A Bit of Birdsong is her channel, and she does some really cool things, and everything that she uses pretty much I think is repurposed. I like to mix new and old together, but sometimes I like to just take what I have on hand and use that as well. And my goal this year really is I've been trying not to do a lot of shopping. I have so much stuff that I need to use, and I've been working on the past couple of weeks just finishing up some personal projects that I've been wanting to get done for a while now. And since I'm working remote from home again, I do have to go in the office a few times, a little bit. I'll probably have to go in next week, but then I'll be done and I'll be working remote because of this virus. So, anyway, babble. So, my goal is I pulled out like all my scraps, bigger scraps, big scrap pieces, and then some few of these I had some bigger pieces of, and then like my scraps. And my goal is to try to get through a lot of that and use a lot of that up. And I'm trying to do different things. So this was inspired by Lynn. I read a bit of Birdsong. She does these little prayer journals, totally out of fabric. And I watched her tutorial on how she puts those together. And she does hers a little bit neater than what I did. I did mine very scrappy. And this is like a little sewing notion / inspiration little book. And they're all similar. Okay, so they all have the bird, they all have the jean fabric and the vintage ticking. This is vintage ticking, and they all have a little pocket here on the front, okay, where you can put a tag or little things in. They all have a button closure. The intention is just to be able to tie it just like that. And they all have, let me refocus so you can see. So they all have two of my little scrappy flowers on it, and then some little beads. There's just one. I just did the pamphlet stitch, so it's just like a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I had the little added the little beads on the outside. And this is sewn all the way around, so that's not going anywhere. And then they all have pockets, so maybe one or two of them have more pockets than the other. I think there might be one that has a pocket on every page. I'm going to flip through one of them and tell you what's in each book. Like I said, the fabrics are similar throughout, and they all have, they may be pinned in different places, but they all have a little vintage rickrack cover that you can use in another project. They all have a little vintage playing card. They all have a layaway tag, and most of those are in the front pocket. They all have one of my little scrappy flowers that's just pinned in. I hope I'm in focus. Let's see. There we go. Refocus. They all have a little doily, a little tiny doily, and a button pinned in. There are 2 keys in each one. I just added those because I have so many keys, and I think they're fun for inspiration. They're either pinned in with garment pins or safety pins. I just did a couple little safety pins on one page. They all have a little bag of buttons in here, and these are all about, they all weigh the same. I can't remember how much they weigh, but I weighed them all, so they all weigh the same. So you're all getting about the same amount of buttons. Of course, they'll be different in each book. And then here's a pocket here. There's a little yo-yo flower and a button pinned in. They all have a little thing of scrap pieces that were left over from putting these books together for you to play with. You could make you a little scrappy tie out of it, or just using little bits and pieces in other projects. And they're pinned together with a garment pin. And then I just clipped, there's a bulb pin, or not a bulb pin, a bulldog clip holding the scraps in there. This is the middle of this one with pockets with this really nice, this came in, I believe this came in the kit I bought from Renee. I think it's part of a tablecloth or something, but it's very nice. It's very soft filling fabric that's got the flowers on it. And then I clipped in with these little clips. Renee also sent me these little clothespins. Aren't they cute? These little bitty clothespins. I took these little pieces and I wrapped about this, approximately the same amount of this color of embroidery thread, and then a piece of some of my favorite vintage lace. And it's probably about, it's about 10 inches. Okay, this is not quite 12 inches, but I thought that would be pretty, you know, on another project, or you can just leave it in here for inspiration. And I made myself one of these just as a little inspiration piece, so to speak, so I could like maybe put my favorite little buttons in and my favorite little flowers, or just bits and pieces of things that I kind of want to keep of my favorite things. This is a doily. These were sent to me in some Happy Mail. These are newer, and I just put one in each one of these. You can take it out, you can tea dye it, you can color it any way you want, you can use it white. The fabric in here, so this is feed sack. This is just some yellow light cotton fabric. This is ticking. This is not vintage, but this is ticking. And then this is a floral fabric that came in Renee's kit. I can't remember where I got this. It's like a very, very lightweight denim. This is like a floral, almost like a drapery type. It's not real thick fabric. And this piece, and I forgot to tell you this, this piece, this is thicker, and it's like a, it reminds me of a bedspread type fabric. It's really cool. And this is also, this is a thicker fabric. This is more like an upholstery type fabric. And some blue and white stripe. That's a cotton, very light cotton muslin. And some more of that blue. So I forgot to tell you what types of fabric. Apologize for that. And then here's another pocket in here. This was also some Happy Mail. I thought these were cute, and I thought they'd be cute in here. So this is like a little, those little fabric, so it's like a fabric foam, like a felt. It's felt. It's like a felt flower onto a little clothespin that I just tucked in here with a pretty little tag. I just thought that would be pretty in here. Not necessarily sewing, but you get the idea. So then I attached two of Phaedra's little flowers. I had purchased a whole lot of these flowers from her a while back. So in each one there are two little crocheted flowers pinned in with a bow pin. And then you'll get, these are vintage tags, like clothing tags. And then there's 4 more tags that are not vintage. These are some that I have in my stash. And a thing of vintage buttons. Now, all of these will be different in each pack, or in each book, and then a claim check. So I thought that would be kind of fun to add in here. And there's another little kind of funky vintage key. I like the shape of that one. It's different. And then in the back of this one, you'll get one of my little scrappy flowers that were inspired by Jessica Rapp. And I have put a binding needle. So these are more like for binding your books in the back, or somewhere within the book you'll get a needle, okay? So that is this one, okay? So this one has this really cool, I love these buttons. These came in Renee's stitchery kit that I bought from her. And I used one of these on my book, and then I used one on this one. And I just think they're really, really pretty. Love these buttons. I wish I had had enough to do the same button on each one. I don't know, I just love that button. So I just thought these would be fun, little inspirational sewing thing for you to keep. You can keep your little needles in here, you know, some of your favorite little sewing things, your laces, you know, whatever you wanna put in here. I just thought it would be fun. I had a really fun time making these. Took me a bit, just because it's something different that I haven't done. And you know, Lynn, when she does hers come out hers come out more you know, like together, like they're all the same size. Mine, you know, when I do stuff, I kind of like it to be scrappy. I like the threads, you know, I like all that kind of hanging out. And you know, I stitched, this was quite a bit of sewing, but it was fun. They're just fun. They feel good in your hand. They're really neat. Something different, you know, and I used up a lot of fabric here. I still have a ton, but, you know. And then on the front, I also put like a rusty, you know, rusty safety pin up here, which I thought was kind of cool. And then you could put, you know, you could add more beads. You could do whatever you wanted to with this. I just had fun making them. So now this one has a different type of closure. This is a really cool kind of yarn type ribbon that Jennifer sent me a long time ago, and I've used some of it here and there, but I had a bunch of that, and I thought that looked really pretty, and it's soft, and it wraps around the button. So there's a sort of a yellow vintage, it's a vintage button on the front of this one. The two little flowers, and then the little beads on the side. And I'm just going to flip through. I'm not going to pull everything out. I'm just going to kind of flip through so you can get an idea that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's the buttons in this one. And then here are the buttons in this one. I thought those were really cool. Okay, so there's 8. So like in the last one, I didn't have as much of this fabric as I thought. So there's none of that fabric in that last one I showed you. But that's a beautiful, like upholstery type or drapery type fabric. It's almost like a sort of a canvasy feel to it. Anyway, and then that is the back of this one. So that's that one. And these will be up in the shop. I'll try to get, today's Sunday. I've been trying to get this video done all week and it just hasn't happened. So these will be in the shop tomorrow. I'll try to have them in there by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, which is Monday. I think today is the 31st, so Monday, February 1st. So here's this one, and it's got the little beads on this side, the 2 little flowers. This is another vintage button. It's a brown button. And then here's the back. So this one's tied with the, this is a seam binding. So 1. And you can see I put things in different places. Like here, I didn't have a big enough piece to go all the way across this, so I just put the pocket kind of offset here. I kind of wish I'd have centered it a little bit better. But when you put things in here, you know, this is meant to be like a scrappy little project. Nothing perfection here. This was just fun to do, something different. So, you know, if you're looking for perfection, this is not it, but but I love doing them. They're really fun. Here's the needle here. This needle here is a little bit smaller than the other one, but it's still a binding type needle, you know, broderie binding type needle. And, yeah. There's a little key here. There's a little funky little key. And the buttons. There's the buttons for this one. I just had a lot of fun, and I've got so much stuff, and then I bought that kit from Renee. So here's your little tags. There's the buttons here. There's another little rusty paper, rusty safety pin, the little flower in the back. So I kind of put things in different places, different pockets, but they all have the same stuff. So that's that one. And the listings will be separate, so you can go by the front. You know, you'll be able to see the difference in the flowers on the front and the buttons, and depending on which one you might want, if anybody's interested. And this is a pocket again. They're all pockets on the front, so you can tuck something there. There's the buttons in this one. And I tried to get some little color ones. Most of them are vintage. I really just scooped out buttons out of a big vintage button thing that I have, a vintage tin that I have full of buttons. And there's the needle here. So I think this one has the smallest needle in it. The other one's, the eye is a little bit bigger. Just FYI. So there you go. And this one has some little pink buttons in the back. And it has this really pretty little flower button. This was gifted to me by Jennifer. I've used these. She gave me several of these. I've used these on several projects, and I have one on one of my projects. But anyway, so these little flowers on this particular one were not sewn through, so you can tell the difference there. These were sewn through. So anyway, so that's what I've been working on. I've also been working on some other sewing projects. Like I said, these will be in the shop. These will be in the shop on Monday, tomorrow, around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you're interested. So some other things I've been doing too is some snippet rolls. Now I've just got these on here. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with these. So for now, I just have a couple of them. I've made I've finished 4 of them. And what I did, I've been wanting to do these for a long time, and I know it's very similar to the ties that I do on my books. So I kind of lay them out the same way. I take the pieces of the fabrics that I like and I lay them out, stitch them on, and then I came back and I added, for these I came back and I added flowers. I think I got it upside down. So I added buttons, and I added some flower pieces and some little scrap pieces, some laces. I hand stitched in buttons. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, and I need your help with this. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to sell these separate, if anybody is interested, or if maybe when I do, other projects, that I can, use these within my projects. Anyway, y'all let me know if anybody's interested. I'm really happy with the way they came out. I thought they came out really pretty. And I could add more. I could go in and add beads and stuff, but I thought, if I sold them, I might just put some beads and things with it and let you do your own thing. Or if I'm going to use them as snippets in books, that, it adds stuff as I use it, But anyway, I just got them clipped together like this. Or I thought, if anybody's interested, I could sell them on one of these. I know it really doesn't, it's shorter than that. But these are really fun. These are really fun to store things on. Like you could use your snippet roll and then take this and wrap your laces. Wrap your laces or trims on one, and you could have them right handy. You could put several on these. I bought a whole bunch of these on eBay a while back, and I've been kind of hoarding them, but I want to share them, and I'm just trying to figure out how to do that in kind of a cool way. And So like you could wrap, or you could take your snippet roll and kind of wrap it around, you know, like this, but you know, it's not as pretty. But so here's another one that I did. And these have similar fabrics because I did one big 5-inch strip, okay, with my bigger pieces of fabrics. So, and then I cut them down, and then I did the snippets and added other things to them. So this is another one. And I'm really pleased with how they came out. And I tried not to add like too much. You know, you could go back and put some safety pins on here, like I said, and some little garment pins and some beads and stuff like that. But I didn't want to bulk them up too much just yet. I want to kind of get your opinion, your guys' opinion on these. Here's another one. So I did 4. I did 4 like this. And they're all a yard long. Each of them are a yard long. So anyway, these were really fun to do, and I'm gonna make more in different styles too, based on the fabrics that I have and the scraps that I have. So here's the 4th one. And you can see, like, they're similar, but each has its own little personality. You know, different buttons and laid out in different ways on each one. But I was also inspired. Michelle Scott was doing the tape. She was making the snippets with the carpet tape, and I want to do some of those too to use on the bindings of books. I just hadn't got that far yet. I've been wanting to make some of these for quite some time. So to show you what I did, so here's one that I haven't cut up yet, okay? So this is how big, okay, these 4 were, okay? So I made it, so this is 5 inches, so then, and 4 yards, okay? So it's 5 inches and 4 yards. So what I did was I took my big pieces, okay, and I stitched them all on this muslin. I lucked up and found some muslin sheets a while back, and I still have a bunch. So that's what I did. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in half, okay? So I'm going to go down and cut it in half and stitch again, okay, depending on where my stitch, because I stitched right down the middle, so I'm probably going to have to cut right down the middle of my stitch. And so it'll be like 2.5. Yeah, so it'll be like 2.5 and 2.5, okay, on each side. So that's about what these are. These are about 2.5 inches wide. I wouldn't say exactly. Yeah. So these are 2.5 inches wide, okay? So that's what I did with that. So I'm gonna cut it down the middle, and that gives me 2.5 inch wide strips. And then I'm gonna cut it again into yard size pieces, okay? So, and then I'm gonna accent these as well. This will be more country, kind of farm style looking, because that's what these fabrics are, okay? But just to show you what I did there. So that'll give you 4 yard long snippet rolls. And then I just kept going, and I made some more of the, these are more like 1.5 inches. I just took my scraps out and made some more ties. So I've been working on that. And y'all let me know about the snippet rolls if you're interested. I'm thinking around, I don't know, just they take time. It really does take a lot of time to do that. And then just selling a snippet roll as it is, or selling a snippet roll with one of these, and it won't be, it won't be a lot, but anyway, let me know what you think about that. So while I'm still here, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you some other things I've been working on. I know y'all have seen me do similar binders like this. So with this one, This one, however, I did the patch, like I stitched all these pieces of fabric together to make kind of like a patchwork design. And then what I'm thinking is this is an old home binder. It was a newer one. But what I'm thinking is to cover this and do like a Western country, you know, home style, you know, mix stuff up like I've done before with this sort of country Western stuff. With this little guy. And then this is going to be a pocket. I've just pinned it on for now. And these are just some other scrap pieces that I'm going to use in here. So I did that, and then I've saved a bunch of buttons. I pulled a bunch of buttons out. There's a little rooster, a little chicken. So I'm going to put some buttons down here and do some stitching. Probably not a lot of, I've been wanting to do the slow stitching stuff too, and I did a little bit of that on another cover that I'm working on. I wanted to show you that. So just want to show you that I've been busy. I've been doing some stuff, prepping for other journals. But this one, so this was my first try at sort of piecing the fabrics together. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but this was a beautiful piece of needlework. And I can't remember the stitch. And somebody told me what the stitch was, and I can't remember it right now off the top of my head. But I finally made some throw pillows out of this, and then I had some scraps left over, so I took a piece of that and just some other pieces. This was a piece that came in Renee's Stitchery kit, and I just stitched all these pieces together, okay? And then I don't know if you can see where I did the little the little slow stitching with my, with what I call my tobacco twine. This stuff right here. This stuff right here is what I used. I didn't use an embroidery thread. It's about as thick as maybe, you know, a 3-ply embroidery thread. But I just kind of wanted to keep this neutral. I didn't want, I wanted the texture, but I didn't want a color. But I've got some blue. I think I'm going to do some right here. And then I just did a few stitches on this little piece right here. And I added some buttons here. But I just added different laces and different fabric scrap pieces that I had. And I thought that came out really pretty. And this will be the same thing. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to use this binder, okay, for that one. And that'll be more like a, I'm going to do that, a mix of like sewing type stuff and recipes and kind of, you know how Gina over at the Reed Bookery does her, what she calls homebody journals. It'll be that, it'll be a mix of stuff of florals and, you know, gardening. I think I'm going to mix the gardening and the cooking and the sewing together to kind of give you just a mix of things versus making it just sewing stuff. And then there's this one that I'm kind of struggling with because I really like this cover. It's busy. There's a lot of different pieces on here, but it's big. So it's bigger than this cover. This was a binder cover that someone sent me that doesn't have the rings in it. So easy enough I could do a hidden spine in here, but this one's a little bit bigger. So I may just make, I may make this more of a flexible fabric cover and do, you know, put something to stabilize it on the inside to give it some thickness, and then do another piece of fabric inside, and it'll be a little bit bigger. I haven't decided yet. So this was another piece of, this is almost like a, well, this is embroidery piece that came with Renee's kit, and then some other pieces that I had. Some of these fabrics are newer, like these were some that were gifted to me from Jennifer. This is feed sack that came from Chastity, and these are some of these pieces are like swatch pieces from, you know, fabric swatches that Chastity sent me. This was just some pink and white ticking little scrap I had in my stash. But I think Jennifer sent me that and this as well, and these two fabrics. And they were sort of big pieces. I just took some little smaller pieces of it to use in here. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to. I've been busy, trying to keep myself busy, trying to look after my dad. I know this is a long video. I just wanted to kind of show you in one video what's going in the shop for now, and then what's kind of coming later. And want to get your feedback. And let me know what you think of these too. I hope there's somebody out there interested in these. They were a lot of fun. And if you haven't ever checked out Lynn over at A Bit of Birdsong, she makes some really cool stuff, and she sells some really cool like supply kits and stuff like that. She's always finding really neat things, and she works in an environment where she finds a lot of stuff. So anyway, all right, enough babbling for now, y'all. Please leave me comments. Let me know what you think. I really, really, really want your feedback on the little snippet rolls, whether I should, if anybody's interested in purchasing, you know, one of these along with one of these, let me know. Or, you know, what other ideas you might have for me on those. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, and I'm going to hush now, and I will see you guys soon. Love you. Bye.